I'm just this guy who got lucky. I don't deserve any of that. All right. Well, what I want to talk to you about is an opportunity that we can exploit, and I hope that you technologists and teachers will join me in doing that. Most of this isn't going to be about WatchKnow. I'm not going to do a demo. It's mostly going to be about the general issues that WatchKnow is intended to solve. And here's a good way to begin. How many free videos are there online that could be used for K-12 education? Anybody have an idea? Already. Now, at first, when Charles Boone asked me to come and work with him on this problem, I looked at YouTube, and I had the impression that there were only a few thousand decent quality educational videos on YouTube. And I thought that the important problem to solve was simply getting enough educational videos out there. But I'm sure that even a couple of years ago, the more active teachers out there who use educational videos could have told me otherwise, because even then there were possibly over a million. I gradually discovered, anyway, as we started building up our database, that my estimate was off by a few orders of magnitude, probably over a million videos, probably several million, and a huge number of new videos, hours and hours, thousands of hours of new videos are coming online every day on YouTube and various other sources. And what percentage of those are educational? A fair bit. So think about the implications of all of that educational video content coming online all the time. How many free educational videos could there be in the future, especially after a concerted effort to both find and create them? Just imagine how much educational video, how many millions, billions of hours of educational video footage will be available free online in, say, 20 years. Concerted, earnest efforts to create educational content online are very exciting to me. That's pretty much the reason why I've chosen this career path as opposed to becoming a philosophy professor, which is what I wanted to do before this. But the internet is still at a very early stage. So we are in a position now to determine future directions and change how things are going to be. And I personally, I can tell you that it matters what we do and what policies we follow and so forth at this stage, because it mattered when I was getting Wikipedia started that we did adopt certain policies and we did not adopt certain other policies, and I have some regrets in that regard. So consider, for educational videos anyway, consider the potential audience that we have here. The number of parents and children online now is, well, pretty much all of them. That's a lot. Consider the number of teachers. And I should say parents and children online who are interested in looking at educational videos. Again, practically all of them, a lot of them anyway. Number of teachers who are online using the internet to prepare their lessons, most of them. The number of schools who are interested in supporting the use of video, pretty much all of them. So my point with all of this is the critical mass in terms of just sheer numbers of people who are interested in solving the problem is there. I want to argue that having as many videos out there as I've suggested that there are and will be is actually a good thing. But to get the very best of the videos, there has to be a rating system. WatchKnow has a rating system which allows people to compare videos from multiple different sources. It's not just YouTube, but a lot of others. And we put the best first. To get the very best, though, the community has to evaluate a lot. The content can't just be out there. It actually has to be reviewed. Also, there needs to be millions of videos. If you want to have any chance of there being good videos on every topic that is taught in schools, that's another reason why there has to be that many. At first, again, when we first started working on WatchKnow, I thought that perhaps we could get by in a certain way, just having a few general videos about on the level of phonics. But no, I quickly discovered that there needs to be videos on each individual vowel and silent E and all the different nitty-gritty that goes into teaching all of that. That's just an example. So even within phonics, there are thousands, probably, of educational videos or already online, or if there aren't now, there soon will be. And you need all of those videos on all of those topics, I think. Finally, there needs to be millions of videos because some videos that work for some people may not work for other people. Right? There's different learning styles, different cultural backgrounds, and something that appeals to one person or one teacher will not appeal to another. So you can have the highest rated video in one category, but that may not actually work for a good portion of the population. So it's good to have more than just the best, more than just the highest rated, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Now, the essential advantage of having a giant one-place repository of educational videos is on-demand education. And what I want to do next is explain what I mean by that and how advantageous that is. Think of having a giant, as I say, database of millions of educational videos in fine-grained categories, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of categories, everything that you can think of down, and the highest rated videos in each category. The high quality supplemental classroom videos would be easy to find and use whenever they would be needed in that case, right? You would be, if you're a school teacher and you're teaching a lesson about, well, virtually anything, you know, you're doing it about a certain frog that you're dissecting. You could probably find a video about just that species of frog and taking students through step by step in multiple different ways. And you could quickly and easily find just that video instantly. I think that would change the way that we teach. If you knew, as a school teacher, if you knew that you would be able to find the perfect video every time. Homeschooling becomes much easier, as you can imagine. I guess I'm not going to dwell on that right now. Child-centered education, to take the more general point, becomes possible as never before. You can think of this repository as a repository of pre-packaged lecturing, of not just any old lecturing, but the very best lecturing, which then frees up the teacher to act as a tutor and guide, allowing the student to work at his own pace. I think that would be just a wonderful thing. And maybe, just maybe, the having the quantity and quality of educational videos available, as I've been describing, is what it will be what's necessary to make child-centered education a dream of educators for such a long time finally come true. How can we make this happen? By solving a series of problems. Now, the basic solution is crowdsourcing. The basic method is to get a whole bunch of people interested in building this resource and get them together actually working on it. If everybody in education knew that everybody else were going to get together tomorrow on a certain website and start working on it, then there would be a tremendous amount of excitement among all the teachers. Just think of the power that is latent there. That's how I think about this. Now, the whole problem, from my point of view, is actually organizing that. How do you make that happen? Well, if it were easy, it would have already been done. But I've got some specific ideas. What we're doing with WatchKnow is we've created a new kind of wiki. It's a wiki that allows a group of people to edit not the videos themselves, at least not yet. That comes this fall. But edit the titles, the descriptions, the categories that they're in. It allows, again, teachers and the general public to work together to edit the directory. Now, this is an open collaboration, but it features teachers. Probably most of you in this room are qualified to become panelists in WatchKnow, basically. If you have a teaching degree, work as a teacher, education technologist, or a media specialist, a librarian, then you can sign up, and I or one of our editors will, if you say the right things and you use your address from your school district, we will give you panelist permissions in the system. And then you can be full participants. You can edit the directory. You can edit other information on the site. And like Wikipedia, all the edits are logged and easy to find. But we invite contributions even from anonymous users. Now, we don't allow anonymous users to edit the directory, but we allow them to suggest videos, and before they're available to everyone to see, then one of the panelists has to approve it. So we say that all of our videos are teacher approved, or at least education professional approved, and kids safe, absolutely kids safe. We have fairly strict policies about what is available through WatchKnow, because we do cater to kids from K-12 up to 18. Now, here's a problem that needs to be solved. If we're going to do this right, if we're actually going to make this happen, we have to take into consideration that there is huge competition for contributors among online crowdsourcing projects. This little graphic here shows the logos from a few years back of all the big Web 2.0 projects that had been announced. The X's are the ones that have died. And I can tell you, as someone who has organized a number of these projects, not these ones here, well, one of them anyway, but as someone who's actually organized this sort of thing, there you go. It's not easy, and the main reason why they fail is that they were not able to get a critical mass of people interested in actually working on them. Well, the solution, of course, you can call this a solution, I would call it more of a goal, I guess, is to become the dominant player by doing the job better than anyone else. So that's what we've been doing ever since we started working on WatchKnow. We made a first draft, essentially, of the system, and we learned a lot from that. We decided not to actually launch it loudly, publicly. And instead, we went back to the drawing board. We did another draft of the system. That was launched last September. And again, there's a lot of things we've learned from that. We've decided to add a variety of new features. This fall, September, we're going to launch phase 3 of WatchKnow, which will allow people to actually upload videos. Well, I'll explain that in a bit. But we're constantly innovating in order to become the best possible service for educational videos. I think the top priority for those of you who are interested in developing projects like this is to make it as easy as possible to contribute to and use. There's really nothing more important than that, because, and if you look at really successful Web 2.0 projects like YouTube, Wikipedia, Dig, and a number of others, or Facebook, they make it just as simple as possible to get going and start adding content to the system right away. And that's what we've done. Another problem that needs to be solved is the whole loss of faith, which you're, I hope, familiar with in the last couple of years. There's been a loss of faith in Web 2.0 sites, that the glow is off the rose with a lot of these websites. There's been some well-publicized problems with Wikipedia and Facebook and many other venues of collaboration and social media. They're under attack. And putting a new one out there and trying to get support for it is more difficult for that reason. I think what's necessary is to get around that problem is to engineer a new Web 3.0 sort of model that combines the openness that made Web 2.0 as successful as it was with that great new technical feature, responsibility. And I think I've already sort of outlined the ways in which we're doing this. We allow anyone to contribute at a level commensurate with the sort of responsibility that they are willing to accept in the system. If you give us a working email address and you use your real name in the system, then you actually are able to edit titles and descriptions and things like that, which is a pretty open sort of system. But I think that it's justified. It's really the only way to make these things happen. But we combine that with constant every day, every hour oversight by a fairly large group of panelists who again take personal responsibility for what appears on the site. Now, the education system itself may pose special challenges, and here's one of the main things that I mean by that. Teachers are the main potential producers of good videos and the main potential contributors to WatchKnow. But, as I've discovered very well in the last couple of years, they are very, very busy. And they don't have a lot of time to be editing videos and, or for that matter, writing titles and descriptions. Some of them do, and it's great that we have some people who take the time out just as a hobby. But the teachers, you have to, again, make it as easy as possible for them to participate. But you can also do this. You can get the schools involved so that they can set some time aside and give some technical support to the teachers who want to get involved with this kind of project. So what we want to do, and this is an idea that's just recently been adopted by our group, is to build a national consortium of schools and other key players to get behind a unified effort so that it's not just the teachers working alone, but there is the schools are behind the teachers. To this end, and just as an example, we have partnered with Lausanne Collegiate School in the Memphis area. We consider them a founder partner of this new initiative. We're going to be adding some more partners soon. Now, to support this sort of partnership, we will have a variety of new tools, and I'm going to just sort of talk you through this quickly. We're going to have sub-sites for schools, which means Lausanne, for example, will have its own site. It might be lausanne.watchknow.org. And there they will be able to build up their own directory. They'll be able to drag and drop categories from the WatchKnow directory onto their directory. They'll be able to host their own videos. They'll be able to upload directly to their sub-site, and then they will be able to put those or not from the Lausanne site into WatchKnow. If they don't want to publish them more widely, then they can just leave them on their sub-site. Another thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to add support for automatic FTP straight to WatchKnow from a video camera, which means I'll be able to take a video camera here, right, and I will basically, the stream from my camera will go straight on to the WatchKnow server. It will be hosted there. And then what can happen is a volunteer, or if Lausanne or another school wishes it, just someone from that school, will be able to edit the video on the website itself. So we're going to be adopting an online web-based editing system for the video. So what this means is, say someone has streamed an hour-long presentation about calculus, I guess. And there are actually, say, 6 different topics that are discussed in that hour. So with this editing software, someone will be able to break it into 6 different chunks, chop off the beginning and the end, take out the ums and the ahs and the irrelevant questions and whatever. They'll be able to actually take out parts of it, and then they'll be able to put subtitles in. Just a little simple editing which will make the video useful to people. And then, so that's what I'm referring to here with this crowdsourced video editing. That's the one part that the teachers don't have the time to do. It takes 3 or 4 hours of editing for each hour of a video itself. And that's time that most teachers don't have. If we can tap into the power of crowds, online volunteers, then we can make it possible for them to get the best of their teaching out there. And that then makes the teacher's job as easy as possible. So in terms of practical next steps, among the many other things that we're doing, Lausanne is holding a laptop institute, which we are going to be at. I and all the key players, so Charles Boone and people from Lausanne and various others will be there. We will be prepared to host videos this fall. We'll talk about how your school or school district or state even can do so. We'll explain how to do it at Lausanne, and we'll actually try to get this whole consortium going at that time. So I'm pretty excited about it. And there seems to be quite a bit of excitement on the Lausanne side. And so I think it's something that we can really make happen. And I hope that you'll consider getting yourselves involved and getting your schools involved. You can get involved right now. You can sign up on WatchKnow. Let me get over there real quick. So here it is. I don't know why I'm having to, oops. You sign up for a new account right up here. It'll come up in a second. So you just click join here. You can make your own account. When you sign up, I would ask you please to fill this one out. Go to make a confirmed account. And when you do that, then fill in this statement. Say, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, what your title is, and what school district you work for, or what department, whatever. And also, for your email address, you can change this later, by the way, right? But when you're signing up, and until your account is approved and given permissions, use the email address from where you work so that we know that you are who you say you are. Hopefully your name actually includes part of, your name is included in your email address, then there might be a problem. But that usually isn't a problem. And then we'll get you started. And basically, these documents right here, tips for students, teachers, parents, homeschoolers, are all very helpful. That would be a good place to start. And I should also show you here on the front page, if you go right down here, videos about WatchKnow, there's a great overview right here. A couple of the producers of that overview are here in this room. So, Mark and Walt. And then there's a couple of how-to videos that I made. There's how to use WatchKnow and how to edit WatchKnow. And then when you really want to get into it, you go over here under Help, and you go down to the bottom, Contributor Help. Every question that you have about the system is probably answered here in excruciating detail. And it's all in one place, so it's pretty easy to find. And I'll just show you a couple of other things. I don't know how much time I have left here. Just show you quickly how it works. So if you notice here, we have a file structure that's kind of like Windows Explorer, right? The file structure of Windows Explorer. But what you can do, if you have the rights to edit, you can actually drag and drop these. If you notice, I just clicked on nursery rhymes. There's nothing under nursery rhymes. Well, you have to go into here or click down through here. We've got them organized in great detail, as you can see. Nursery rhymes that use motions, that use direction words, that use the alphabet, and so forth. That's just an example. We have over 4,000 active categories on WatchKnow now. And for each one of these categories that has videos in it, sometimes you have to drill down to actually get to the content. Within each category, the videos that are more highly rated are placed first. So the 4-star video here is placed above the 3-star video. And then, of course, I think you can figure out how to play it. I want to just for the techies out there, and of course, I guess most of you are pretty technical. I want to show you. I want to just sort of brag a little bit about how easy it is. Oops. Okay, I'm not bragging so much. I'll make sure I got the right. There we go. Okay. To edit a video, once you're in the system, it's just a matter of clicking this, and a little edit box pops up, as you can see. You can edit the title right here. You know, I don't really think the King County library system goes there. What we've decided to do is to put the owner and the producer. They're often the same. In this case, the same. It's going to be the same. We put it there. You save it and you close it, and your edits are immediately saved. And say you want 5 fat sausages. Here, let me put this up higher so you can see it better. You put 5 fat sausages above 5 fat peas. I don't really like it there. So I'm going to go ahead and just move it up. The order is changed on the fly. And say I don't like that name. I can just right-click and then do this. And again, the changes are saved instantly. So this is the kind of thing that has to be, it has to work in a relatively snappy and easy-to-use fashion if you want people to use a system like that. So that's how we designed it. Anyway, I don't want to bore you too much or go on too long, so I'm just going to have to leave it at that. And I really do hope that you get involved. And even if you don't get involved, I really hope that you make us a whole bunch of educational videos so that we can put them into WatchKnow. So thank you very much.